Hello and welcome everyone. Today we'll play a fun little game. I will show you pictures and you will tell me how to exploit it. If you don't know, I will explain it. So let's get started. So everyone, this image right there, does anything here look exploitable or not? What do you think? It definitely does. Now, if you're not familiar, fail to ban client has a prevest. You can look this up on Google, and I suggest you do this as you do machines as well. Always just use Google. Google is your best friend. You can use Google dorking as well to find things. It's super helpful. And yeah, this is for sure super interesting. And yeah, we can also see that we have some users right here, but by far the most interesting is the fail to ban client. And yeah, let's continue. Now, what about this? We can see that we are looking at some environment variables. Would this ever be interesting? Does it look interesting in this image? What do you think? Now, I would say that this isn't too interesting. It can be interesting at times if someone has stored a token or some form of credentials in an environment variable and you can enumerate that way. That can be interesting. You can also actually access environment variable through an LFI as well. That can also happen. That can also be interesting. Once again, depending if there's some form of variable or some form of credentials. But I would say this on its own, nothing here looks too interesting. And yeah, it's just something to quickly check and move on if it's nothing interesting. So yeah, that's what I would say here. Let's continue. Now, what about this? I wanted to ask you if the shell type ever matters. Like, does it ever matter what type of shell you're in? If you land as bash or sh or anything else, does it ever matter? What do you think? I would say typically it doesn't, but it definitely can if you land in something like rbash or some form of restricted shell environment where you have to essentially do a shell escape or a shell breakout. This can happen. So it's just something to be wary of. If you land as a normal host, like a www data, and you could do most things, that's definitely going to differ if you land in, for instance, like a Docker container. Then things can be a bit different, right? Maybe some binaries are more locked down. Or if you're in a restricted shell environment, then you also might have to do some breakout techniques. It's just something to be wary of. But yeah, in this scenario, it doesn't really matter. Just something to be cognizant of. Let's continue. And once again, you can easily find shell breakout techniques on Google if you just Google search and Doric, etc., depending on what type of shell environment that you're in. But in most scenarios, it won't really matter. It's, once again, there's something to be cognizant of. Let's continue. Now, what about this? Is anything here interesting, or is all of this useless? What do you think? Now, I would say that this can be interesting, but it really depends, right? Now, we can see that we have an internally listening port 61. I believe that is IPP, right? We can also see that we have MySQL accessible on all interfaces. Whether we can access this remotely or not, we would have to see with an Nmap scan. But the fact that we have MySQL can be interesting, right? If we have some form of credentials. And then this port right here, we might have to enumerate to see if it's anything interesting. But yeah, it can be interesting. You always want to check listening ports, whether it's on Windows and Linux. And I would say here, it just kind of depends. And nothing here looks like an obvious preview, but yeah, worth checking. Let's continue. Now, what about this? I wanted to ask you if anything, or I wanted to ask you in this scenario right here, what would you do when you see this form of output, right? And what would your methodology be when you see all of this output? What do you think? Well, it really is just checking GTR bins and doing Google searches for different binaries and seeing if they are exploitable, right? Now this goes for both SUID binaries, but also SGID binaries. It can be easy to forget about something like SGID binaries, but this can also lead to a previsk, just like SUID binaries. And yeah, they are important to check both of them. If you don't find some binaries on GTFO bins, you can always, once again, just do Googling for a specific binary in previsk and exploit and stuff like this, and just, take a look around, and over time you will start to get familiarized with binaries, right? You will know that G password or peak exact, like on its own, won't guarantee be a form of previsk with SUID binaries, and yeah, you will start over time getting familiarized, and you will just see the ones that you're unsure about, but yeah. Let's continue. So we can see from the earlier that this is indeed the failed to ban client that we found. This one right here. And we can see that once again, by just Googling a bit around, we can easily find that this is in case how you abuse it. So we more or less just copy paste and slightly tweak the outputs, and we will be able to essentially execute a command under the context of root, because we have the sudo permission over this binary, and that is very dangerous to do, right? So we can see right here that I more or less just copy pasted the commands, altered it a little bit, right, to adapt as needed. And we can see that I am now setting a SUID bit set on the bin bash, as you can see right here. And then I execute bash with the SUID binary, and boom, I am root. Okay, so yeah, I hope you enjoy these quizzes, and let me know down below if you still do. And I hope it's very useful. Check out the courses if you haven't, and the notes, and have an awesome day, everyone. And if you find this video useful, then you're absolutely gonna love this. We have a massive, free-to-try, 25-hour plus OSCP course that you can see that people are just absolutely loving. That inside gives you all of the resources that you need to crush the OSCP. We have a massive roadmap that literally covers everything. We cover initial access, privilege escalation, Windows and Linux. We cover Active Directory. We cover post-exploitation. We cover lateral movement. We cover pivoting, tunneling. We cover the exam. We cover the reporting. We cover all of the attacks that you need and all of the techniques that you need for OSCP. We also cover all the rooms that you need to do, and all of the rooms is linked inside. We cover Active Directory chains as well, and we literally cover everything. And you will instantly get all of these resources once you join. So click the link down below, try it completely for free. I'll see you inside.